No, I'm not. So sorry. I was videotaping the whole thing. I've got two cameras, one for the crowd and one for listening to up front. In 1 minute, I'm going to lay this back down. It's for everybody to sign. Oh, it's right. He's playing with the kid. Oh, shoot.
You guys, there's refreshments in the room down here if anybody wants to get. There's food.
Don't make us take it home.
You frowned up a little bit. Just a little. And I think that's when it's teenager stuff. These are all from like Facebook pictures that we found where we lived this last people have been posting on our friend Tammy took all pictures and had them all printed out on the trifold.
On the right here.
I'm just happy and happy got out. And they, I mean, they're so
like they have blue good. That's how good they are.
how do you know what to have blue? I think it's hard.
But I'm trying to find a cool way
I forgot the dogs.
Well, you know, that just happened. My mother still so it's pretty good deal.
Is that what the Sorry.
How's everybody?
And oddly, I just told them I wanted to move on and do something different. And I just myself a new job and everything. And it's
It's something I wrote and pretty much sums up today. What I'm going to say is good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the memorial service for our son, our brother, and our beloved friend Jahmal Nelson. I want to thank all of you who were able to attend today, and those who helped make this possible: Elizabeth Haight, Jeannie Rohde, Tammy Goodrich, Betsy Spry, the arborists for the facility, Danielle Alessio, and especially to the members who were here from Jahmal's family, who were able to attend today, some traveling from far distances. We also send our love and support to Suzanne and Don Nelson, Jahmal's parents, who were unable to attend today's memorial. Please join me and everyone in welcoming them and all of you here. It's good to see you all. Today is a day that is meant for reflection and celebration of a man, a friend, a brother who has touched all of our lives, however briefly, but whose impact will exponentially last on all of us for many years to come. For those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Brian Kavanaugh, and I had the distinct pleasure to have been blessed to have Jahmal in my life not only as a friend, but a housemate, a confidant, a partner in crime, a jester, a rock star, an artist, and then a brother. Jahmal and I first met several years ago when we started as housemates at the now infamous 128 Belchertown Road here in Amherst. At first, like most relationships, there was always a grace period. That time when each person tries to sort of feel the other one out. What are they into? What kind of music do they like? Does this guy wear matching socks? Do you like toast? You know, the usual stuff. But never with Jahmal. Nope, not even close. I moved in, we sat on the couch and just staring at each other for about 10 minutes in complete silence. And then we just started laughing. And I mean really, really laughing. Something that would define his and my relationship for many years to come. Well, this is ridiculous. Let's throw on some music, have a cold one, and take it from there, we said. And we did, and we never looked back. He and I became fast friends, and then became fast friends with my friends whom he had never met. That was Jahmal, a man whose heart, soul, and spirit affected everyone he met. Look around this room right now. Go ahead and look. Look at how many of us are in here, and how beautifully different we all are. Doesn't matter where you came from, what you look like, well, in some cases maybe, but what you wore, what you drove, what your job was, Jahmal simply didn't care. As long as you were square and straight ahead with him, he was with you, and he always was with me. There were the amazing times, the not so amazing times, and the downright dark times. Both Jahmal and myself, anyone who remembers, Jahmal went out of his way to help me personally when I was going through probably the darkest point in my life. He was always there. He always cracked a smile, telling me a joke, keeping up my spirits. He didn't have to do any of that, but he did, because that's what kind of man he was, or is. I'm having a hard time grasping. His love for music and the arts was legendary. Whether we pushed the patent pending on the stereo with Tool, or the Deftones, Pantera, or anything really heavy, which he loved. But his tastes were eclectic enough in any art form to appreciate jazz, blues, funk, R&B, and rock and roll. He loved to draw and paint. He was goddamn good at it, too. He had excelled at it, and he knew always what he was talking about. The one thing I do know without a doubt is that man was never a bullshitter. Sure, he'd mess with you a little bit just to feel you out. That was his nature. But when it came down to it, he knew what he was talking about. That's the one thing that I'm most appreciative of with Jahmal, was there was no subject left to wonder about. We discussed it all. Everything: music, art, politics, religion, girls, chia pets, different beers, that lady's shoes over there, food. For Christ's sakes, food alone would go on, the discussion would go on for hours. And it did. I think there were more epic topics of discussion on those couches at 120A that lasted until the very, very late hours. And then we would try and go to bed because we had adjoining rooms. And we would have to mess with each other through the wall and laugh and laugh. Good night, Cavi. Good night, Jahmal. Good night, John Boy. Snickering and laughter. Shut up. We have to get some sleep. No, we don't. Yes, we do. More laughing. Okay. This time it's serious. Okay, fine then. Good night. All right. Is that it? It's done. All right, good night. Then about 5 minutes later, you could hear us both snickering through the wall like we were teenagers. I can honestly say that I've never laughed harder with anyone in my life than with Jahmal. And I mean hardcore laughing. Jahmal had a wit and a wry, a quality sense of humor that only someone as twisted and as absurd as he was, insert me, could appreciate, and it was like a comedy team. Never mind Martin and Lewis, or Pryor and Wilder. When we got together, it was a complete laugh-a-thon. And usually, the more people around, or the bigger the audience, the funnier it got. Case in point, and I was asked to reflect this story by multiple friends after I told it. There was a period of time when we all lived together: Jahmal, myself, Sam, Todd, Dave, Jen Lee, God rest her, Scotty, and just to add, I watched Jahmal do this again in November. He hadn't lost a step. Everyone has been in a conversation with another person, usually an acquaintance, and you're talking to them or they ask your opinion. They tend to not listen to you. And it gets really annoying. So we had started, all of us in that house, a little thing where if someone wasn't listening, we'd purposely change the story to the absurd just to make sure the person was paying attention. That's what's going on in Japan with those Japanese. And then everyone would be like, what the hell are you talking about? And then we, so Jahmal and I would sit and we would actually like go over things he would say. But the one time he really got me was he was talking to a gentleman on his left and I was on his right. And I'm not going to say where we were, but he all of a sudden, the knee started hitting me under the table. So I'm looking at him, and I know what's coming, because the guy is going, yep, right, and he just starts kneeing me under the table. And he, so I started leaning in to pay more attention, because I know it's coming. And he goes, in the middle of this, he dropped it magnificently. In the middle of it, and I have to say, quote it. He says to the guy without missing a beat, quote, "So anyway, that's when I realized that the job wasn't for me. So I could dedicate my life to collecting mouse farts in an effort to cure cancer." And of course, I was in mid-sip off of a drink, which caused me to spit it out. Then I got in trouble for it, which made him laugh harder because I was in trouble for it. That's a direct quote from him. I never heard him say anything better. That wonderful maniacal laugh he had. Every time I heard it, I would smile a huge smile, and he would always smile his big, unforgettable smile. That's just one story of literally thousands today. That's what this memorial is for, and all of you are welcome to come up or stand up, share a memory or a story, or just say how you feel about Jahmal, so we can all share in it. His family, his friends, we can share in it. That's what today is supposed to be about. I loved you, Jahmal. We all did. And while we are all heartbroken, we take and keep your spirit, your glow, and your essence alive in all of our hearts. You were a huge part of my life, I can't begin to express how much I'm going to miss you. For a brief moment you came into my life, you changed it for the better. I feel blessed and honored to have had you in it. The fact that every, and I mean every single time we saw each other, no matter who was in the room, no matter who you were with, we always gave each other those great big hugs hello, the ones that meant something. And then of course when you had to leave, we had to give each other a hug goodbye. And we always told each other we loved you. You know, Robert Frost once wrote, stopping by woods on a snowy evening, whose woods these are I think I know. His house is in the village though, you will not see me stopping here. To watch his woods fill up with snow. My little horse must think it queer, we stop without a farmhouse near, between the woods and frozen lake, the darkest evening of the year. He gives his harness bells a shake, to ask if there is some mistake. The only other sound is the sweet of easy wind and downy flake. The woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have promises yet to keep. And I have miles to go before I sleep. And I have miles before to go before I sleep. Well, my friend, my brother, you sleep now. You get your rest. And when it becomes time for me to get wherever it is you are right now, or will be when I get there, whatever dimension, heaven, or maybe our case, aisle 5 at Walmart, which would be hell. I'll share that huge hug with you, your remarkable smile, and a laugh, and you leave me smiling, telling me, brother, you got to come check this out. I have so much to show you. God give you rest, Jahmal. God grant you peace. God bless you and your family. I love you with all my heart and soul. Your friend, Kathy.
Okay, so I don't know, Liz, if you want to come up now and say something. You don't have to. I'm not putting you on the spot. I really am. Or Jeannie. Jeannie, isn't there a ticket under the seat?
My name is Jeannie, and I also had the wonderful pleasure of knowing Jahmal so well. He and Liz and I spent many, many hours together at the house that I lived in on Lake Metacomet, to the point where it really felt like we were housemates, because we were pretty much inseparable. And what I say will be very brief, but so many memories from there. Something that always stuck with me the most when I was in our living room, and, well, I should say, the doors to the house are very low, put it that way, so Jahmal always had to duck when he would come in. So, especially the doors to the lake. And I remember just standing in the living room one day, and he said, you know, this door isn't up to code, because I'm 6'7", and if I have to duck, then it's not up to code. You know, that's just it. And it struck me for so long, and to this day, often, if I go through the low door, I wonder if Jahmal can fit. And but what I say to you now, Jahmal, is that where you are, there are no doors, there are no boundaries, there's only love and light for you. And we will all miss you forever, and you will always be in our hearts, that beautiful smile. And that's it. Thank you. God bless.
If anyone wants to say anything, stand up and say it. It's really not a forum. If you don't want to come up, you can just stand or say what you feel where you say. And if you have a 12, a 5, or a 7 underneath your chair, then you have to get it.
I'm not really good at public speaking. I'm really good at speaking in little groups.
so I'm just gonna stare at my sister because that's what I'm gonna do. I don't really know what to say. My name is Tammy, and nobody knows me. I don't know that many people here, but I'm really appreciative that you all came to get together and to, you know, remember Jahmal with all of us. I guess I've known Jahmal for 13 years. Brian forgot to mention that I too lived at 120, although I did not pay rent, I did clean the house. So I'm counting myself and Sarah Lowe, and counting her as well, because we were there. And after 120, Jahmal and I moved to Pelham, to his parents' house. It's now, what is that restaurant called now? We were just there yesterday.
It's all pops and whistles at this age.
Okay. So we lived together in Suzanne and Donnie's. They made it into a package store, and then the other part was Jahmal and my house. And those doors were very low too, so he didn't really make it upstairs very often because it was more like going like this to get upstairs. A lot of great memories of doing a lot of fun things there. Not all of them appropriate to talk about. I really suck at this, so I just want to say thank you to everybody. I have a lot of favorite stories about him, and I don't know what to say other than it was very close, and Liz and I and him spent a lot of time at the Pelham. Oh, I do have one funny story I can tell. When Liz and him were first dating, and they were kind of arguing like first date, you know, when you're first dating somebody. And so my way of trying to get them to be around each other when they were arguing would be to invite Liz over to the house just to hang out with me. And they actually stopped fighting that one night because Liz and I were upstairs drinking wine, and I had this beautiful white rug upstairs. And she proceeded to knock over the red wine on the rug, and I would proceed to clean it up, and then she proceeded to spill one again, and then I proceeded to clean it up, and it went on 4 times until we were laughing so hard that Jahmal came upstairs to see what was going on, and we all just sat there and laughed. Probably should tell you that I have OCD, so anything that's messy or spilled is just, you know, kind of, yeah. I can't do this, so I'm going to sit and do some other talk.
My name's David. I actually know quite a few of you, but not all of you. I know Jahmal pretty well for a number of years, as a roommate for a time, as a co-worker, good friend. I can see by the diversity of all of us here, it just shows you the kind of person that Jahmal was, as has previously been said. He would make friends with everyone and anyone. I guess what I really want to say is God bless you, Jahmal. Your great smile, going to be missed by all of us. But I think that he was a large guy. He had a large smile. He had a very large spirit. It's bigger than even him. I think it touched all of us. And I think that we can all manage to keep that in our hearts. And I think he probably changed all of us to an extent for the rest of our lives. Thank you, Jahmal.
We weren't kidding about the 12, 5, and 7. You're going to have to get them. So.
Yeah, I had a 5 under my
Would anyone else like to say anything? Okay. Wait for Liz.
We might be waiting a while.
If people want to just stand up and say their name and
was the awkward silence. I'm not Sammy Davis Jr., I'm not tap dancing. But you want to, please.
Hey everybody, my name's Jason. I'm a friend of the Nelson family. Jamal's little brother Paul is a good friend of mine. And I met Jamal. Paul was talking about his older brother, and you know, showing me art and showing me things about him, and you know, same little stuff. You know, we were friends, and I knew he had an older brother. And then I met him, and I didn't realize he had an older brother. Paul is a red-haired kid. I was very startled, but but Jamal was awesome. You know, he was awesome, and like everybody's been saying, you know, it doesn't really matter. Everybody here is different, and I think he took all of us, you know, in the same. No matter who you were, what you did, I think everybody got a chance. And we spent some cool times together and got to hang out with him. And you know, I really respect his family and Alana's here. And I spent a lot of time at their house. You know, it was like to hang out, home away from home kind of thing. And yeah, I just had a good time knowing him. He never had anything bad to say that I remember. He was just a good guy, you know, and he's a good brother. And that was the thing that I probably will remember the most, is that the way that his brothers talked about him before I met him is how I would like my brothers to talk about me, you know, if nobody knew me and they had to put a good impression across. And that's cool, you know, it's good to have that. And wherever we go when life's over, I hope that he's happy, and I hope that we all get together when we all get there and have a good party, you know, because he's fun to hang out, you know, and that's all I have to say.
Well, I'll say something. My name's Melissa, or Lissy, and I know some of the people here. And I knew Jamal because he was Liz's boyfriend, and that was really how I met Jamal and got to know him. And he was always such a nice guy, and he always had great hugs, and he never had a bad word to say about anybody. And my best story with Jamal is that when I had a condo in Echo Hill, he painted my kitchen red. And I wanted a red kitchen. I don't know why I wanted a red kitchen, but I did. And I was really impressed that he didn't have to stand on a ladder. We had over the cabinets, and we had a long discussion about being tall and what that meant. And I got a stool, and I stood on it just so I could be eye level and just imagine how it was to be that tall. And he embraced being tall, and he didn't mind being called Too Tall Jamal, which is what I usually call him. And I also just wanted to say that I hadn't seen Jamal in a long time, and I don't remember what our last conversation was. I don't remember where we were, but I do know that it was probably a great conversation, and it probably ended on a really good note. And I think out of all of this, when somebody dies, that it's so unexpected that it's good to think about when you're with people, what the last conversation you have is with them. And that if you were not to see them again, would you have a good feeling in your heart when you didn't get to see them again? And I'd like to say that I feel like that about Jahmal, and I bet a lot of people here do.
I can say something. My name is Tiffany Morris. I knew Jamal. I don't know anyone here. Super cool. And I especially don't know Brian, but hearing, I don't know wherever you are, but hearing you talk about the way that you hung out with him, I swear it's exactly like I knew him 15 years ago. He raised massive help on Grays Avenue and all across Northampton back in 1995. I haven't seen Jahmal in, I don't know, maybe we had a couple messages back and forth on Facebook, and always meant to see each other. It crushes me that I didn't. So I'm going to thank him from here for that lesson, because there's a whole bunch of people I'm going to catch up with. But I just got to say that I remember swimming with him. He got me a job washing dishes at North Star back when North Star was around, and there were lots of shenanigans there, I'll tell you. It was hell being a guy hanging out with Jahmal. I don't even have to say anything else. But you never know it from looking at him and watching the way that he behaved. He was such a gentleman, such a sweet, kind soul. I just, for some people, some friends of mine that I had in common with him, I just want to say their names: James Spady, Amy Braga, Eli Hinckley, Dave Hart. All of us were really tight, inseparable friends probably about 15 years ago. So I'm sure many of you know him from farther back, many of you know him from sooner, but I'm going to represent 1995. It's great to see this crowd of people that clearly loved him so much.
I'll say something. I'm Jahmal's aunt, Patty, and you know, Donnie and Suzanne, his parents, are near and dear to us. The Nelsons aren't known for being very tall, and Jahmal stood out in the family in a tall way, in more than one way. One of the last times I saw Jahmal, we were all playing wiffle ball in the backyard, and he's a good wiffle ball player. We all miss him very dearly, and one of the things that helps me is that I think he is in a better place, and he's not feeling pain. So it's great to see everybody here.
Okay. I'll probably break down anyway, so I might as well say it. I first met Jahmal at the Spoke, of course. You know, and I was with Jen Lee, God bless her, and I said, "Who's that weird guy down there? Very tall, playing pool." And she said, "Oh, that's Jahmal. He's from California, and he just came back. He's painting with Pip." And I didn't think anything of it. And we just kind of got to know each other, and something just clicked. And I knew it, and I think he knew it, but he was in such denial. It was, and I said, "Look, let's just hang out, have fun. I hardly know you that much, you know. Let's just have some fun." And we kept hanging out, and we really got to know each other. And we were driving in my car one day, and he just looked at me and he said, "I think I love you." And I said the same thing, and that started our relationship. And I never had so much fun with somebody, even bantering and as sarcastic as we both got with each other in such a loving way, but we would just laugh so hard afterwards because it was so funny, and we knew that we couldn't talk with anyone else like that because they would be so offended. And I have to remember that if I leave the house, I can't treat people the way that I treat Jahmal. But he was just a sweetheart, and we had a lot of laughs and a lot of good times down at the Cape. It's actually where he proposed to me, at the beach on the old lifeguard bench at night. and I couldn't see a thing. And he said, well, let's just go sit up there. It was a full moon. And we got up there. I sat down, and all I could see was that he was crouched in front of me, and I'm like, what are you doing? And he said, I don't want to be your girlfriend, your boyfriend anymore. And he had the ring, and then we called Alana, we called Paul and TJ and them, and we were down there. And we were down there also at a day where it was cold on the beach. I'm always cold. Some of you know this about me. I'm never warm. July and August is the only time that I really appreciate. And the beach was cold, if you can believe that. It was July. And we were on our lounge chairs, and we were sharing his iPod, listening to Johnny Cash. And I had the towel over me instead of under me. And he goes, you need to take that towel off of you. You need some color on that skin. And I looked at him and I said, that's what you've always wanted, isn't it? And he looked at me, the look on his face, he's like, you are a fucking dork. So funny. But we just had a lot of fun together, and I know now that he is in a good place. Probably causing trouble with Jen Lee and Tommy Chalmers, for those of you that know. Evan should watch out, because there's 3 goofballs up there. But he will be really missed, and I'm still having a little problem accepting this, that I won't see him come around the corner again. But I'm glad that he's at peace now, and that he's just happy. He did struggle for a while. So that's it.
Melissa's daughter. I didn't want to speak. I don't like this stuff. This is my second memorial this month. I lived with my mom and Jahmal throughout pretty much the whole relationship. I moved out of my mom's house pretty late age. And I wasn't sure about him when she first met him, because they didn't look like they belonged together, but you know, he made her happy, and that was what I was thinking about with my mom, is, you know, as long as she's happy. You know, she raised me by herself, and you know, things are hard, so I accepted that, you know, he made her happy. We had a lot of dinners, a lot of trips. I was also very protective of my mom through times, and you know, we butted heads a lot. But it helped that he has a really, really wonderful family. You know, his brothers and sister, and his mom is like an unbelievable person. His mom, you can't get a nicer person than his mom. So, I also know he's in a better place. He struggled a lot. I witnessed a lot of it. And I'm sure, you know, now not just seeing you once in a while, he looks over everybody all the time. So he sees you all the time.
Man, we could really use him here to kill these awkward moments.
We're still waiting for him to walk through the door and say, "Gotcha, fucker."
No, that'd be you.
Well, if nobody else wants to talk, we can, you know, talk with each other like we were doing before. Please get some more food. Visit some of the pictures over here. There's some really cute ones. Sign the board, because I'll be sending it to his parents. And the more that It's signed, well, the better it'll be. Also, if you guys will go on to the online obituary and sign his guest book, because I want to put that into a hardcover book with pictures and send that to his parents as well. So if you guys can go and do that, not right now.
That's on Facebook.
It's on Facebook, it's on Gazette.com. It will be on for a full year. So you guys have until February of next year to sign it. And then I will be printing it right before it goes offline. So spread the word so we can get some, nice memories put there for him so his parents can have that. And thank you guys all for coming and stay as long as you want and then go as long as you want. And just, enjoy.
That's Ross.
But I thought you already gone.
You'll wait till I leave.
Once everybody's out of here, it should go fast.
When you're not confined, about what kind of brother, I was like, wow, that was...
But he'll definitely have tomorrow. Or I'll be like to go to a pre. Yeah, he told me about that. I was gonna let me do it. I know he will. I'm gonna be one who's gonna clean up the fucking tire mark. Why here? So I wonder if they told us about it. What do you think? I'm also, if he also had the idea of saying that you can.
So what are you up to?
A little bit more of a.
Yeah. I'm still taking care of my mom. Are you living over there now? Right, gotcha.
Which has nothing. She's doing much better. She's on a big turnaround. She got a new doctor, and yeah, she's on the mend, like unbelievable shit. So it's been a couple of last 2 months. So yeah, no, it's amazing. Like I didn't think she was ever really going to come out of it. And all of a sudden, she's 4 weeks away from being her breakthrough better. Left that completely healed, like almost completely healed. So she's going to be swimming down like she's having she left she was going down Mercy and they were doing the compression racks and then she went back to Dr. Miller, who she's seen in the very beginning of all this almost 3 years ago. He started back